Hello, learners. I hope you all are doing great. Once again, I welcome you all. Today, we will be covering third chapter of our science textbook, that is Fiber to Fabric, page number 25. Students, this chapter is all about how this becomes that. That is, how fibers obtained from plants, animals, or chemicals gets ultimately converted in clothes that we wear. So, watch this video till the end to understand the complete process step by step. So, let's start, my learners. Apart from this, we will try to answer some very interesting questions such as: is fabric really a continuous piece? How does a lump of cotton like this converted into threads? Or how does these threads ultimately become fabric? How a tiny creature on earth, that is silkworm, gives us the very expensive silk fabric by killing itself? Yes, it gets killed in this process. Why you should never wear synthetic clothes while working in kitchen? So, let's get started. So look around you and you will notice that your clothes, bed sheets, pillow covers, mats, curtains, blankets, tablecloths, shopping bag, and even your school bags, all these items, students, all these items are made up of different kinds of clothing material, isn't it? We will be able to notice the difference by feeling and by touching them. Actually, students, all of these items are made up of different types of fabric. So now, students, question arises, what are fabrics? Yes, what are fabrics? From where do we get fabric? How these various items are made from fabric? So these are the various questions. So now let's try to answer each of these questions. Whenever you had visited a garment shop, you must have noticed bundles of clothes. Yeah? You have noticed bundles of cloth like this lying there? So these are called fabrics. What are they called? They are known as fabrics. These fabrics are stitched either manually with the help of sewing machine or in the machines in the factories to get all these different items such as clothes, bed sheets, pillow covers, blankets, carpets, shopping bags, etc. So students, let's now try to understand about fabric in more detail. So students, whenever we look at any fabric, it seems like a continuous piece, isn't it? It seems like a continuous piece. But student, is fabric really a continuous piece? This question always arises in our mind. So for this, I want you to take a closer look at any fabric piece in your home. For even more understanding, students, try taking pictures of fabric piece by zooming your camera. What did you notice? What did you notice when you zoom your camera? So students, you will observe that while some of distance fabric seems like a continuous piece, but actually student, it is not. Why? As you observe it more closely, you will notice that fabric is made up of two sets of strands arranged together in horizontal and vertical fashion. So let's now find out what the strands are. Yeah, what these strands are. So students, These strands are called as yarns, or we can say it as loose threads. Students, you must have seen these yarns at some tailor shop or even at your home. Yeah? You must have seen these. To better understand yarns, try taking out a loose thread from any of the edge of a fabric piece. Yeah? So these loose thread, students, are called yarns. What are they called? They are called as yarns. So thus you can say that fabric is made up of yarns arranged together. So what can we say? That fabric is made up of yarns arranged together. Now students, let's try to look at yarns more closely. For this, scratch one end of the yarn which you took out from the fabric with your nail. Yeah? And observe it carefully. So students, what you will notice? You will notice that yarn splits into many thinner strands, and these small and thin strands are called fabrics. What are these thinner strands called? These thinner and small strands are called fabrics. Thus, we can say that yarns are made up of still thinner strands called fibers, or in other word, we can say that fibers are twisted together to make yarns. I repeat this again, students. Those small thin strands are called fibers, or collectively we can say that yarns are made up of still thinner strands called fibers, or in other words, we can say that fibers are twisted together to make yarns. So now we understood that fabric are made up of yarns, and yarns are further made up of fibers. Yeah? Or in other words, we can say that several strands of fibers are twisted together to make yarns, and yarns are arranged together to make fabric. Yeah? So now students, next question arises, where do we get fibers from? Where do we get fibers from? So, we get fibers from two sources. Those are natural sources and artificial sources or man-made sources. The fibers which are obtained from plants and animals are called natural fibers. What are they called? Which we obtain from plants and animals? They are called natural fibers. For example, from plants we obtain cotton, jute and coir fiber. What is coir fiber? Coir fiber is that fiber which is obtained from a coconut husk. Yeah, students? So similarly, from animals we get wool and silk fibers. The fiber which are synthesized in industry from simple chemicals obtained from petroleum are called synthetic fibers. For example, polyester, nylon, acrylic, etc. So students, if you want to know about different fibers, try to observe tags of items at your houses to know about which fiber they are made up of. You must have different kinds of items at your home. Try to see their tags. You will see various things written over there. You will notice some are made up of 100% cotton, while some are made up of 100% polyester, some are made up of acrylic, or some are made up of wool. So students, that's all for today. We will continue this chapter in another video.